Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I didn't get any videos out today. I wasn't feeling the greatest. So I decided what I was going to do is just do a small wrap-up of some of the stories I didn't get to, and I'm probably going to do bigger stories on these, actual videos. But I also haven't done an AMA in a while, and I thought, why not do another Ask Me Anything with the crew? So I'm going to go through some of those news stories, and one of the things that's been a pet peeve of mine are all the fanboys on Conor McGregor or the deniers. As you guys know, I've been following this case because I'm upset about it. I don't like it. I think it's really fucked up, and I'm going to continue to do so. And someone I enjoy their feed or whatever said I need details, and I posted all the details in the world. I did a 30-minute video, very calmly reading from mainstream sources, many of those details. But in this video, before I get to the questions and get them in now, guys, I'll try to answer all super chats like I do, but usually it's like first come, first serve. I don't censor anybody, so if I miss you, it's just because I don't see it, okay? And I'll put it up on the screen, but you can check it out. So after I go through these articles, I'm going to just do a quick, these are the details that the mainstream media has given us about the Conor McGregor case, okay? And that'll come after we talk about the troop tricks and more. And let's start with the troop tricks. As I really thought in the beginning, when they said the troops would be leaving Syria, I was like, well, that's great, but where are they going? Are they coming home? Doesn't sound like they're coming home. And now we find out that they're going to be assigned to Iraq. Here's the thing, at the same time, you have an escalation in the Gulf, you have an escalation with Iran, and it was already announced a few days ago that Trump is also going to be sending more troops to Saudi Arabia. So to me, I'm upset with the media for going after Trump, making it sound like, because we're not in Syria, bad things are always going to happen. That means that we'll never be able to get out of these regime change wars, these wars of aggression and imperialism. And as you can see, that's really not on the table. We are going to be putting more and more troops in the Middle East, and that should be extremely alarming. I covered this in a walk and talk, but I think it's important to go over again really quickly, just that Chinese censorship is important to shine a light on. I think South Park's done a great job of that this season, probably more than anybody else. I understand that, the NBA thing and the Hong Kong protests have brought a lot of light to that subject. But if you saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's a buddy comedy. That's what it is. It's although it's set in a real place, in a real time, with real people, everybody's kind of a parody of themselves, at least the developed characters that are real. There's nobody that's played to the T or, played like a drama. So the reason that they decided that they were not going to release this is that Bruce Lee's daughter was very unhappy how he was portrayed. And I thought it was hilarious how he was portrayed. And I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. Doesn't make me like Bruce Lee less because of the way it was portrayed in this film. But yeah, they listened, and now that won't be getting a release. I was one of the first to report that huge bust, the largest child porn bust in the United States. Well, not in the United States, in the world, which involved people in the United States. And, of course, a server in South Korea. So there's actually been some follow-up information on that. I may be doing a new video there, but I also wanted to shine a light on this guy, which you look at this man, he was doing some bad things. And it just shows you that, these people don't have a certain face or a certain look. I see that sometimes, and I'm like, man, you don't know what people are up to. I did that story prior to the largest bust about a neurosurgeon and his two nurses and how they were running a CP and abuse ring, and he'd been abusing people for 20 years. So looks can be deceiving, guys. I think it's important that we realize that. This is pretty incredible. This woman was never supposed to see the light of day, and Vanessa George, again, I might do a full story on this, was put on parole 2 weeks ago, and that would be in the beginning of October, as this is almost a week old. And listen, she was photographing herself abusing children at a daycare center with other terrible people. Never should be out again. Never should be out again. And somehow this monster here, the monsters among us, is out on parole. That should alarm everybody out there, because this is a very, very disturbing and disgusting case, period. Moving on to some of the other things I did not get to cover, and might be doing more videos on this in the future. Scientists find a way to travel across very distant points in space in a split second. A wormhole could allow space travel to the most distant regions of the universe in an instant, and now a recent scientific paper has outlined a way to actually build these anomalies of physics. Things just keep getting crazier, right? Honestly, like that's the thing. You look at quantum computing, you look at quantum mechanics, you look at the promotion of the simulation theory or the multiverse, and it is alarming to me. But at the same time, I don't deny science. I think that, again, we have a lot of different types of propulsion systems that are being buried. And although, things like black holes are only theoretical, although they're promoted as mainline science, it's always really good to keep an eye on this stuff. I got my first super chat, so I'm going to go to that and get back to the stories and the Conor McGregor details in a moment. G'day, Jason. I got no questions, mate. Just sending some love from Australia. Keep going, man. God bless. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that super chat, my brother. And I appreciate the encouragement. There's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people that try to, distort what I do, or say I do this for clicks or that for clicks. No, I do the stories that I feel are important. So, talking about a cashless society control grid and how it continues to grow. Take a look. Bank of Canada exploring digital currency that would replace cash, track how people spend money. An internal Bank of Canada presentation says benefits of a digital currency include the sharing of personal information with police or tax authorities. This is it. The Track Trace Database Society, where every single one of your transactions is monitored. There's no getting around the IRS or any kind of taxation these people would like to impose on you, okay? And building bigger and better algorithms on people, selling your data to others so you can be a good little consumer. And it's very dangerous. I think once we get rid of paper money, barter and trade is going to be even tougher. And this one's not being reported on a lot either, okay? I missed it initially. But 38 people cited for violations in Hillary Clinton email probe, because that probe is still going on. It's largely ignored in light of them trying to smear Trump in the Ukrainian scandal, or talking about Syria and how we're abandoning the Kurds. But listen, man, none of these people are angels, and Hillary Clinton is certainly quite the monster. We've gone over it several times. People know it. But somehow she's got support. And, as time progresses, and as I see the media hinting at her joining the race, I have to wonder if that isn't the plan. I certainly hope it's not, but like I said, man, Elizabeth by golly Warren, Grandma Oatmeal, she's not electable. Joey B is not electable. Kamala Harris is very scary and very establishment and somebody they'd like to promote. I do not think she is electable. And obviously, everybody else up there is kind of window dressing. They're there to promote the careers of Cory Booker and Pete Bootlicker, etc. And other people like Amy Knoblar and Castro are there to toe the establishment line. And now with Steyer up there, I mean, he tried to get Trump thrown out of office before Trump was in office. Otherwise, I'd say this. Steyer, other than the Trump stuff, actually, did not jump the shark, as much as the other candidates. Yang, I don't think, jumps the shark as much as the other candidates. He tries to shift the issues to real ones. But like I said, a universal basic income is not my shebango. I think it's a bad idea. And as we talk about the future and automation and technology, the cheetah, remember the big dog? That's why I said Robo dogs, deployed in Iraq, are just getting crazier and crazier. Now you have them, lands the running jump. They can go almost 30 miles an hour. Let's just take this down and let you take a look at it. These things are constantly getting better. Here, let's go to it actually running and jumping. Yeah, look at this. That's scary, because eventually, I hate to tell you, forget about just military, Police forces, movies like Elysium, I think that's the one with Matt Damon where Robo forces her on the street. Or, first they're going to start aiding human beings, right? But then they're just going to take over. And like I said, these things are progressing at an incredible rate. There's one right there. And you're seeing it make the jumps. And when they can outrun you, and they're going to be able to outrun you, what are we going to be able to do in response as human beings? I got another super chat before I give you the McGregor details and then get to all the questions. Flickoff says, would you be for or against prison death matches if both inmates agree? Thinking about McGregor's future prospects, laugh aloud. No, I wouldn't. I would never be for that. Here's the thing. I don't watch that sport hoping somebody gets killed, okay? One of the biggest appeals of MMA to me is that you have a guy that may not be the best striker, and somehow against someone who's totally juiced, who's, got crazy hands and feet, finds a way to put them down, finds a way to take their arm or their ankle and win that fight. I don't want to see eye gouging. I don't want to see biting. I don't want to see us return to a gladiator state where, essentially that's what those people were, right? They were the slaves of the day, the criminals of the day brought in and fight for your life in an arena. I don't believe that is what this sport is. I think it's a lot different, okay? So, I'm now going to go over the details of the McGregor case. And like it or not, these are the details. Now, this second incident is apparently not as violent as the December incident. So we're going to start there. In December, it is alleged that, okay, and remember, these are police sources. These aren't rumors or WhatsApp messages, etc. Conor McGregor, who had already been accused of sexual assault in at least 2 separate cases, and they quietly went away, again, according to media sources. And this is in Ireland, by the way. Violently, all right, so let's start before the violence. Apparently, he knows this girl. It's a friend of the family. She's with a group of people. He's with a group of people. Now, these people have been called dangerous, and they have also, some of them, been investigated for alleged sexual assaults. These are all mainstream articles, all the details in the world. They meet at a pub. Later on, the two groups go back to a hotel together. There are multiple people there. He had said something along the lines that he was going to bed her that night. She said no, he wasn't. And then later on, in front of people, he did something where she slapped him and he lost it. Now, the woman, no doubt, was brutally beaten, raped, and sodomized. And if you believe those WhatsApp messages, and a lot of people want to go after me about those. Hey, those are journalists. Those are easily revealed to be real people. I don't know why somebody would fake those. They certainly don't look fake. They look very, very real. It was so bad that she had to have a tampon surgically removed from her cervix. She was on her period at the time. So there's no doubt that this woman, according to the police sources, was very badly beaten and raped, period. Those are police sources. That's the real deal. Now, she was so scared to give a formal statement that she did not name McGregor for weeks. I want to reaffirm that. McGregor was not named by her for weeks. However, other witnesses gave statements. And remember, when I say all the evidence, that's what the police sources say. So they've already taken witness statements, okay, witnesses that saw this. Those witnesses have not been revealed. These are the details of the case. They have CCTV camera footage of this woman leaving, badly beaten. Okay, all that. There's no CCTV camera footage, apparently, of the incident as it happened in the room, but plenty running up to that event. Now, it's so bad, again, according to the same sources, that McGregor goes to the police station with his lawyer the next day and says it was consensual. No formal complaints have been made, so they send him on his way. Now, think about this. Has anybody here ever had consensual sex with somebody and then showed up at a police station when not prompted to do so with their lawyer to tell them about it? Come on. Give me a break. So finally, this woman, sometime either in late December or early January, does give a formal statement. And McGregor is arrested in mid-January and then let go. Okay? Now, it's all kept hush-hush, but RTE, which is a large European news network, has an employee that leaks his name in a photograph. Now, that leak is later confirmed 100% to be RTE, saying it was Conor McGregor, by the fact that they were threatened with fines for doing so because of the laws there. Okay? So, is that where the story ends? No, because now we have the paperwork in that case going to the Department of Public Prosecution. When McGregor was arrested, he said it was a consensual event. Okay? That, again, all mainstream sources. So that's it. That we go further. If you've got other questions, that's what the AMA is here for. But to say there's no details in the case, it's ridiculous. I mean, the police sources say that she should be scared, that these people are dangerous. You can watch video of McGregor punching an old man because he didn't want to drink his whiskey. You can watch video of McGregor going into a crack house, a known crack house. It's all available, We know what kind of guy this is, and where there's smoke, there's fire. This doesn't happen again and again and again because nothing's happening. It wasn't a he said, she said thing. So, with that being said, guys, let's get to the Ask Me Anything and start going through your questions. Again, thank you for all the super chats out there. And I'm also going to be thanking some of my donors because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. You want to support my work? There it is. It's a GoFundMe. And like I said, let me actually start by saying thank you to Kimberly Musser, David Bingham, Patrick Sullivan, Drew Childs, Robert Van Prague, Joshua Zanagua, Susan Banks, Ryan Erickson, Glenn Beckham, Joe Rooney, Gil Raviv, Cliff Bobler, Melissa Watson, Darren Page, and more. Crystal Anderson, Brent Massman, and Joanna Barrett. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, without you guys, none of this is possible, okay? And if you want to watch, by the way, the total breakdown where I go through all the articles and all the questions in the world, very calmly, there it is. It's only got 3.2 thousand hits. That's the other thing. People think I'm doing this for the hits. Well, I never know exactly what's going to get the most hits, okay? I don't really care. Obviously, I wish I would get more views. I'm trying to grow the channel. We're at 35,000. I want to be at 40, then 50, then 100. But I certainly don't focus on issues because I think that they're going to do well on my channel. I focus on issues that matter to me. Okay, so let's do it. American Prisoner says, "What's up?" And that's it. What's up? Do you know Brian Harvey, East 17 UK, victim of phone tapping? Poor Git is being set up even now. I don't know anything about that case. What are my thoughts on Putin? I mean, what do you say? A lifelong intelligence guy that somehow went in there and built a political dynasty. Do I think he's as evil as everybody portrays? Listen, none of these guys that are at the top of their games in these countries are angels for sure, but is he any worse than any other dictator out there or any other world leader? Not that I know of. He holds a lot more military restraint than the United States does, and I think it's kind of a joke. It's a bad meme to say that, Trump is his puppet. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you think McGregor will pay his way out of his troubles again? I don't know that he's going to be able to pay his way out of this one. I don't know. But then again, so much of it, see that jump, guys? Don't worry, I'm going back up. So much of it has been obfuscated that I really don't know what to say. Let's see, I have a stupid face. Thanks, CryptoZen. You're great. I wonder how many more comments you're going to make down there before I ban you. Because I'm pretty sure I've banned that name before. Where are the new Gaffrey documents? Great question. I don't know. We're waiting on them. We're waiting on a judge to see if they're going to release them. They released the 2,000 plus pages. This is 10,000 plus pages. I'm interested to see them, and I will be covering them if they are out there the day they come out. I know that I have a great audience here, and when I do miss something, usually my DMs catch it. Hi, Bad Malat. Hey, yo, Jason, check out the Creepy Creeps. They are rad. I don't know who the Creepy Creeps are. Do you make enough to not work and do full-time research? People forget how draining this whole thing is without 9 to 5. Thank you. Well, no, this is my 9 to 5 now. I was doing it for We Are Change full-time. for over a year, almost a year and a half. And, obviously that's where I would like my direction in my career to do. Before, when I was working for them part-time, I was still managing this bar right here, the Red Jug Pub. And, those jobs are not satisfying to me. Obviously, I'd like to make more money, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Great news on the Mixed Martial Mindset podcast, 2 weeks in, and I'll be on the gruelingtruth.com network. Please go check them out. They got a lot of great sports podcasts if that's your thing. But I'm trying to grow this. I certainly don't consider myself a brand of any sort. But again, if you want to push forward, you've got to do the work. That's why I do 3 to 7 videos a day regularly, because if you're not putting in the work, you're just going to get stomped over. If you're sitting there crying about every little thing that you don't got the reach that other people do, or that you're being censored, you lose people. It's okay to talk about that stuff sometimes, especially when it's actually occurring and it's pertinent. But you know what? Life's not fair. Life's never been fair. You just got to move on. Burmis, what was the Miami roundtable you spoke of? Yeah, so there was a Miami roundtable, I think, on the 15th. I was actually invited out there by one of the listeners. I couldn't make it. She said she'd be posting it to her YouTube page. So once that's done, obviously I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll take out bits and pieces, and I'll show you where to find it. I'll tweet it out sometime this week if it gets up there. But that's what we need. We need more people getting on the ground, taping events like this, going up, asking Bernie Sanders about Assange, and asking Amy Gnoblar the same thing, all that stuff. That's good stuff. All right, so let's see. Was Conor McGregor determined to book a fight for December because he knows that he is facing jail time in the near future? Well, they sure started trying to promote that fight after he knew he was being investigated for this. Listen, in the latest case, they had already seized the clothing and his car. Who knows what's in that guy's head? I mean, again, I am disappointed in the so-called mainstream journalists, not just MMA, that refuse to follow up on it, and they patty cake around all these allegations. Why is it upon me to be the only guy really talking about this in a real manner? It's kind of a burden, actually. I don't have the reach of all these other people, and I've been kicking and screaming about it since it happened because somebody needs to. My God. If the earth is flat, then the globalists will lose. I have no idea what that means. Hello, everyone. I'm so depressed. Well, I'm sorry, Dad Talk with Son No One Knows. I'd say this, the best way to get out of depression is think to yourself, well, what would make me happy? What could I do right now, today, that could change my life a little bit? That hey, what path could I be on where it's going to feel good if I take one step and then the next step and then the next step and then the next step to achieve my goals? I try to remain a pretty damn happy person, and I am for the most part. I feel blessed. I love my family. I've been able to get them closer to me. I love what I do. That doesn't mean my life is perfect. I just got to keep working at it, man. Life's hard. Okay. Oliver, close off. Oh, snap. I caught Jay live. Let's see. I see some kind of unclown quiet thing. It's Jay with shades. I got no shades on. Can you go over the Houston Astros win? I missed it. I saw that it was 1-1 at some point. I was out last night, and then all of a sudden, when I looked up again, I saw them celebrating in the locker room afterwards. I know the Yankees lost. It's tough. No World Series for Jason. Now she looks like a monster. Not sure who we're talking about. We already went over that one. I need one to get to work on time. I don't know. I don't know what that means. We're all pixels in an LCD. Heard it here first. No, we didn't hear it there first, buddy. Actually, Philip K. Dick is the first one to really popularize the simulation theory, the science fiction author. You can watch that. He starts talking about it kind of like in the respect of deja vu. Cashless only. Mike Deepick, WTF. This is not my name. Connor should never be allowed to fight again. I agree. He is a useless thug. So many awful people who are rich. They are evil because they seek money and not Jesus. Well, I don't think that you necessarily have to seek Jesus not to be evil. I wouldn't think that every single Muslim, Jew, Shintoist, Buddhist is evil out there, man. have a little more faith in people. Cashless welfare card out here in Australia. Poor can't use secondhand shops, just big corporations who pay for politicians' campaigns. Exactly, another mode of control. Listen, one of the biggest shames of my life is something I had no control over as a kid, being on welfare, being on food stamps. And they were stamps, you had to take those out, and I would never want to use them. I refused. I'd rather starve than use them. It was one of those things. But now it's a benefit card. It looks like a credit card. You can't even tell. You're making it more accessible, making it more cashless, and making you more subservient to the system. I see hot coffee. Okay. We read that one. Hey, Jason, thank you for all your hard work, man. Thank you, Citizen None. And I'm going to come back to the questions, get them in there. But I'd like to thank even more people here who have donated to my campaign, my GoFundMe. We're trying to hit $5,000. We're way behind, but that's okay. We're really going to try to push forward tomorrow with big stories. Joseph Bosco, Susan Inman, Rob Ramey, James Manfield, David Steiner, Brandy Cooper, Chardin, Johnny Sharp, Alan Oliver, Patty Pierce, Peter Paulson, Debbie Gibbon, Patrick Flood, Gregory Batt, Gregory Cheever, Jason Simard, and Richard King, Molly Hunsinger, Mortem Ute, Tyrannus, Sarah Smith, and Joe Rooney. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is appreciated. Back to the questions. And eventually I'd like to get phone calls on here, guys. That's the thing. I did take some phone calls in the past. It's choppy. I think I'm going to get another device altogether where it's third party, comes in through a phone, something like that, or maybe I'll get a tablet and do it that way. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm not making promises, but I love interacting with you guys. Elysium was wild. I haven't seen his movie Chappie. I really want to see Chappie, but was it District 9 is just a classic. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my shock favorites. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, fraudulent marriage and campaign finance issues. So far, no mention. Will you ever cover it? I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of Ilhan Omar. I'm sure I've talked about it in passing. I haven't done a full video on Ilhan Omar, but no, I don't trust her. I know that there are people out there that say they have a lot of evidence that she actually married her brother, that her name might not even be Ilhan Omar. Look, man, all these people, what I have talked about with Ilhan Omar is that her and AOC are basically casting call politicians. They bring in people through donor groups, sit them down, have you tell them why you think you should be their congresswoman, woman or man, and how they're going to push you, and you're a puppet the entire time. I mean, come on. I've never promoted her. That's for sure. 5 gallons of paint should kill that Robo dog. You'd think. We'll see how we'll see how they look when they're actually finished up. I don't think that rain or other liquid is going to be an issue. What's your take on the state of 9/11 truth movement these days? There isn't much of one, right? I mean, what is the truth movement? I covered it when you had first responders and police from the New York City and New Jersey area going to the National Press Club and discussing how they're trying to get a reopening of that investigation. I had Richard Gage on to talk about their new paper about World Trade Center Building 7. I think those are the right directions to go in. I don't know what that exactly says about the state of the 9/11 truth movement. Breaking news, I don't know what that is. Paid fights for prisoners would only tempt authorities to frame innocent people to fight for their money. It's the Running Man scenario, right? Where they're fighting gladiators, like that have weapons and they're on the run. I think Running Man is a brilliant film. A lot of people don't realize that's actually a Stephen King story when he was writing under the name Richard Bachman, the Bachman books. I think that movie deserves a either. I don't know, man. I hate sequels, but sometimes remakes are terrible, and I'm not sure whether I would do the remake on that or not. But if I was going to remake something, it would probably be that film. That and They Live deserve like high quality, big budget, in the now modern remakes. They're brilliant films. We've got another super chat here. Let's get that in there. Jesse Sweeney, whatever happened to the Dark Overlord 9/11 thing? Was it a hoax? Remember you were all excited about it. There's no hoax. What are you talking about? I've covered it. I covered all three dumps. 3 out of the 5 layers were dumped. I did extensive work on it. There's absolutely zero hoax about it. Watch my video on the secret testimony of James Woods. That was in there, the deposition. Them talking about the Pakistani ISI's involvement monetarily was in there. Some of the names that came out in that Saudi Arabian, remember when we were named Saudi money? That was already in there. 100% not a hoax. I think that, the Dark Overlord has kind of gone even more underground. It's almost on a year on that. Remember, they got announced in the beginning of January, I think on New Year's. And here we are 10 plus months later. It's probably been 7 or 8 months since there's been a layer dump, I went pretty hard on those documents for a lot of reasons. I wish other people had too, because I think there's a lot more in there that I just didn't find, what can I tell you? Hey, OMG, sad face. Battle Royale for prisoners, no. True Gant, anything... Oh. Let's see. True Gant, anything to make more money. What does that mean? This message is held for effing McGregor. I only hear about him on here. I know, it's sad. ESPN, TMZ, and others are quiet about this. Of course they are. Yeah, they barely reported on it. They're like, report. And then they link you to the watered-down, mainstream New York Times report that took a week. And again, if you watch my video... I read that entire article and I point out all the problems with it and all the details they omitted, period. Let's see. There is enough violence in prisons, I remember. That's closed circuit TV for you ham and eggers. Yes, that's what CCTV footage is. They want to turn into reality TV like everything else in the world of reality TV, Truman Show style. We pretty much live in that style right now. Too much coke. What the? Oh, he's talking about McGregor. Well... Yeah. But dude, that crack stuff is amazing. Oh, there we go. We got another jump in there. Let's go back. How much further? Wow, we got a lot. I'm trying here, guys. I missed that one. See, Social Observer, it wasn't on there. Why are all the globalist elites moving to Africa and New Zealand? I don't know. I don't know that they all are. But, again, we'll see. Let's see. Show me some evidence of that. First of all, when we say all the elites, I mean, that's an extensive bunch. I don't think it's all of anybody. You'd have to name some real names for me to even look at it. Let's see. Nothing burns through cash like drugs. Yeah, that's very true. Got to spend that cash on something. We're talking about the McGregor crack situation. Yo, DJ Smooth. How we doing, brah? Brian Harvey, yes. I told you about him before, Jason. I mean, okay, maybe I haven't gotten to that one. Look at Brian Harvey's channel on YouTube. Okay, okay. So what are you doing here? What are your thoughts on Hillary running this term? I think it's going to happen. Nobody likes her. Yeah, no, I know, but for some reason, there's this huge machine behind her, and I mean, they've used her to propagate a lot of the lies about Russia and Trump, and the idea that, she deleted emails, that text messages were deleted. Look, you look at all of the crazy things that were in those emails that, again, were totally and completely manipulated by the media. And you understand why people think we live in clown world, because we do. I've been talking about that. We live in a circus, a show. Rogan's up. Don't listen to him. You have an awesome face. A face that spews nothing but truth is the best of all faces. Look, I know I got a punchable face. I was out last night, and I was just talking to one of my bartender friends. I went there with a group of girls that used to work with me. And, I mean, I'd probably been there like 45 minutes, and this woman just starts telling me to shut up, that I'm too loud, that she wants to listen to the music. And apparently she's a professor at my old school. It was tough, man. I was tough to have restraint, but when so many people hate on you so much, I just ignored her. Sydney, who I was standing next to, she's looked at me. She's like, wait a minute, you don't know that woman? I'm like, I have no idea who that woman is. She's like, people say stuff like that to you? I offend people all the time, just being Jason Burmis. I'm too loud. I'm too opinionated. I say things other people won't say. I don't censor my speech. I might not use the pronouns you like or the adjectives you crave. Don't listen. Okay, that's the same one. Where is Ghislaine Maxwell? I've done that report earlier this week. The reports are that she's in Brazil with Jean-Luc Brunel, but I don't know for sure. That's what's out there. Welcome, Bear Rogans. Thumbs up. Fuddle Snups. Someone came on to type, "You have a stupid face." Seriously. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you. Winchick, I don't know what that means. Winchicka Tales. Because it's going to be a new coastline when they get done blowing California off the face of the earth. It's a classic trope in old movies from the 70s and 80s. They detonate something on a fault line, California sinks, and all that desert is prime coastland. I think I've seen it in a cartoon. What is this? Is it over? What's going on? No, still on. Jeez. I used to live chat going way faster. You know what? The thing is, I don't have it on live. I have it on top chat. Let's go with live chat. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. Got it. Let's see. Let's go back up to, wow, bam. Got a lot in here, huh? Oh, so we just, if I skipped over any of you, I'm sorry. Obviously, by going to the live chat, it skipped over a bunch. Hopefully I didn't miss any of the super chats. You know what? I'm going to check right now whether I missed any super chats because I feel bad. I appreciate all those super chats. Let's see. Nope, we got them all, so that's good. All right, let's get back to the questions in a moment, but first, I want to thank more of you guys right here. Let's see. Gio Coleman, Tammy Johnson, Kenny Cudworth, Emily Anderson, Adrian H. Drufus, my man, David Taylor, David Query, John Serico, and Patty Weimers, Sammy Salmian. Thank you so much. Yours is what's keeping the Burmese Brigade alive. All right, let's go back to the questions, guys. Just finished up Tinfoil Hat with the gang. Good stuff. Yeah, that was a good one, right? It's actually Ricky Verendis' 200th podcast as well, the Ripple Effect podcast. Go give him a sub as well. He's really cool, really good guy. He's been at this for a while. He was the one in the center of that podcast. And again, I really enjoy going on roundtables like that with people like James Corbett, Whitney Webb, Sam Tripoli, and Ricky, where we can have an open and honest discussion and nothing's off limits. We're not screaming at one another, and we're trying to get our point across in a very rapid but informative and entertaining manner so that it's digestible for others. So thank you, RC Propaganda. I've known a lot of people who do cocaine and they don't usually actually do something smart with it. What? Yeah, most people addicted to any kind of drug in that kind of fashion aren't doing smart things with those drugs, right? Most proven cure for depression is lifestyle change. That's right. Starting with a healthy diet, correct. Plant-based diet has been shown to resolve depression. I'm not going to endorse the plant-based diet. I am quite the carnivore and happy. But I will say this, the less processed foods in your body, the less sugar that's in your body, the more you are eating meats and vegetables. Yeah, I think that's a big thing. You know, exercise is a big thing. Get out and exercise and then do what Jason said. Yeah, that's another big way to do it for sure. Go for a walk. Hey, RC. My name is also Jason. Jason, what's your take on Greg Hardy inhaler situation? They've tried to push that guy. He's not a good fighter. Listen, they thought they were going to put him in there with a tomato can. I don't even think he won that fight, by the way, before they gave it to him at all. I thought it was 2 rounds. Like the way they were talking about him in the first 2 rounds, he was the one getting tagged up. He didn't do anything in the first round. He should have lost that fight easily 2-1 max. He should not have been given an inhaler. I'm glad that they overturned it, but it should have been not a no contest. How about a DQ? I'm not a fan of the guy. Okay, I don't think he's a great fighter. I know they need something at heavyweight they can push. That guy is not the guy that they need to push. How do you feel about Robert Kennedy's death? Was there more than one shooter? Sure seems that way. I mean, his own son, named who he believed killed his father just a couple weeks ago, did a story on it. What are the best real news sources to watch? Most news is program bullshit. That's why I like your channel. I'd say this. Use discernment. Read everything. Listen to everyone. I don't watch a lot of news TV. I read a lot of articles. I go through feeds. One of my favorite apps on my phone is called News 360, and that kind of aggregates from all over the web, so you do get varying voices. It's not just MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, The Telegraph, The Guardian, et cetera, et cetera. It's a swath of different media information, and you got to absorb that information. You got to make decisions for yourself. I'll be answering all of his questions as a fellow Jason now. Okay. At my responses there, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Are you aware of Tulsi's connection with the Trilateral Commission? No, but I am of the CFR. Is there a Trilateral Commission connection? I've openly talked. I almost, every time I talk about Tulsi Gabbard, even when I'm very happy with what she's done, I have to make that connection. I have to, because people think that I'm some kind of shill for Tulsi Gabbard. No, I need somebody in the debates that's going to interject real issues about leaving these wars that we shouldn't have been in the first place, right? But, people love to obfuscate the truth and can't handle that the world is more than just black and white. What do you know about Tartaria? Not a suppressed hidden history of vast empire stretched the whole world only a couple of 100 years ago. I don't know much about it. Have you heard the rumor Kennedy Jr. is going to be Trump's running mate in 2020? That's not happening. Pence isn't going anywhere. Not unless something really gets shaken up. Now, this president is somebody who's replaced a lot of people in those separate places, but I don't think that's us. Let's see. Let's not bring Jesus into this. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's religion. I've heard you on Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. You kill it every time. I also listen to a couple other podcasts on Spotify. Question is, why not run a Spotify podcast? Nothing against YouTube, Rob. So this new podcast, I don't know that it's actually going to be on Spotify, but I know it's going to be on things like iHeartRadio and all those other things. So the Mixed Martial Mindset podcast, that's an hour in length every week, that's going to be available. thegruelingtruth.com. Please go check it out. The dead one. Connor's coach posted an article of Connor donating money to a baby girl for a life-saving surgery 8 hours ago as a distraction to Connor's rape allegations. Yeah, he was also saying that he was going to give the entire purse with he and Frankie Edgar if it went down to charity. I'm sure he's just such a great guy all of a sudden. Is there a new tinfoil? Yes, there's a new tinfoil hat out today with that round table. McGregor is a 33rd degree Mason laying brick, that is. I don't know what that means. I don't know that he's a Mason. DP says, hi, man. Hi. Also, what are your thoughts of Q? Not doing that one. It's nonsense. Love your channel. I've done so much about that, dude. Love your channel. MMA media is biased. Yeah, they worship Connor. It's ridiculous. I will reiterate my question because you probably didn't. Blah. I saw it. I read it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yep, I agree, Brian. Tulsa connection with Trilet. Exactly. Again, what connection? Show it to me. Love your work, Jason. Bernie Sanders 2020. Yeah, I wish Bernie didn't back down to Hillary when he won the DNC. I wish that he would bring that up in the debates, how he was screwed. I wish that he would not toe the line on Syria like the media wants him to. I was really disappointed in that. I wish he would speak on Assange. That's why Tulsi's the only one up there for me, because at least she said that, again, if she becomes president, she will drop all the charges against Assange and Snowden. That's huge. No one else is willing to say that. Let's see. Q is for the ultra dumbed down. Chappie is good. Q, Zionist psyop. When might you do a Joe Tippins podcast? Trying to get him on. I'm going to get him on. We'll make sure to get him on. Agreed, laugh aloud. Watch Elysium. I have seen Elysium. It's good. I remember those stamp books my mom had when I was real young. Weird. I'm from Minnesota, known by many Somalis. Her marriage was not fake. Her husband is a cheater. Okay? Okay. Elysium, great movie, but needed a follow-up in my opinion. Some sequels I don't really want to see. Que paso? You're watching it. I'm sorry. Goodbye. What is wrong with these people? Didn't you realize I was going to get to the questions? How many times are you going to post the same thing? Do you think there is a possible counterintelligence agents, CIA intelligence agents that are YouTube? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, just like there are people in intelligence that are on television and news networks, YouTube is the largest video platform out there, in many ways going further than TV. So yes, of course there are. 100%. There is truth nobody wants to address because they will lose their credibility, and that is flat Earth, please. Anybody can get a P900 Nikon and go to the ocean and see there is no curve. What was in Building 7? Plenty. Go watch my films. The SEC, the largest CIA base outside, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, the largest CIA base outside of Langley. The NSA, Secret Service, a lot more. A lot more. Spook Building, Spook Central. The Office of Emergency Management was there. Talked about that one. Word. Yep. Ilhan conspiracy theory. Laugh out loud. Nice job. So oh boy. They live was the truth. I just watched a video by Collative Learning, who is Rob Ager. I really like his stuff. He had a pretty interesting take on it. I'd really love to interview Rob. I think that he's done some really great stuff for years. I actually remember still working at InfoWars and sitting Alex Jones down and making him watch The Meaning of the Monolith, which, excuse me, is excellent. It's one of my favorite breakdowns of Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is an amazing film. Amazing. We have science on our side. Effing NASA and the state have pseudoscience. All those criminals give us. Yeah, we went to the moon. Chris Swan, I know we are, mate. It is. That's why they made it. I take it you think. Surrogates with Bruce Willis. The Island with Ewan McGregor. I like The Island better than Surrogates. I think Surrogates was kind of cheesy. But I get why people are into it because of the message and the fact that we're using these robotic avatars of improved versions of ourselves to go out into public. It's creepy for sure. I think that The Island is a lot creepier. There we got Tulsi is a member. Again, I've talked about. I talk about it every single time I do a video on her. Every time her name is mentioned. They live. Keep covering the rapist. People like that don't change as much as I want to blame the expensive blow. Listen, we're all responsible for our own actions. I'd say this: when you are addicted to something like that, cocaine, heroin, you become more and more of a sociopath. You lose your soul, man. If you believe you got a soul, you start to lose it when it's all about that hit, that endorphin rush, that drug. Believe it. Only effing idiots think we live on a spinning space ball. Okay. Sam Tripoli broadcast when you going on his podcast. I'm hoping that he's going to do one with me on McGregor. XG hit me up afterwards. Maybe next week. I hope that I will be on next week to do the McGregor thing. I'm going to reach out again and say, please, let's please do this. I hope the subject matter doesn't get in the way because look, it's a big conspiracy, right? Disney, WME Entertainment, ESPN, UFC, they all have something to lose for that information going super mainstream. A lot of money. A lot of fan base to lose. If the earth was flat, it would be very easy to prove. Such yet has not happened. Why so? No, I do not think the earth is flat. Chris Sean, easy to prove, no, This isn't one of those podcasts, guys. We talk about real issues. New Zealand is supposed to be a good place to survive radiation during the WW3 fallout. Let's hope it never gets there. Well, it sure ain't a spinning ball. Well, again, with mainline science trying to promote the simulation theory, right? And not only the simulation theory, but the multiverse. I get why people believe that. Get Freeman Fly on your podcast. I don't know who Freeman Fly is. Radiation, unless it's like Freeman from back in the day from Austin, Texas. And, isn't he into the Dagon and the fish people? Isn't that the big conspiracy? It's the fish people. Chris Solon says, okie dokie. Let's see. Thanks for your work, Jason. You've opened my eyes even more. What are your thoughts on the Vegas shooting? God bless. I did a full tinfoil hat podcast with Sam Tripoli on the Vegas shooting. But in a nutshell, I think it had something to do with a arms deal and a setup gone wrong. I think that you look at the evidence that the guy that they blamed for it, he and possibly his family were involved in CP and trafficking, is very interesting. But if you want the full breakdown of the anomalies there, please go check out the Tinfoil Hot podcast that I did with Sam Tripoli. Just got here from Susie 3D stream. There's some super crazy surveillance control measures proposed taking place in New Zealand and Australia. Agreed. It's a free country. F that bish. Oh, there's a big jump. Sorry, guys. Oh, boy. Let's go. Let's go back up here. Okay, here we go. Great appearance on Tinfoil Hat. Thank you, Dennis. Hey, Jason and all Burmese Brigade. Late again. Hey, Drufus. Thank you for all your support throughout, my man. Really appreciate that. New Zealand has always been a test place for new tech. Agreed. Hey, and Owl. Jason, good job with the 5-person tag-along on Tinfoil Hat. Thank you, man. Thanks, J-Bet. Going to check it out after this, Drew. Let's see. Actually, you know what I'm checking out after this? I think tonight was the night of the Simpsons latest Treehouse of Horror. I love those. I'm a huge Simpsons freak, and I haven't been watching it the last few years. I used to watch every single episode, like the first 26, 27 seasons, and I fell off. But I always catch the Halloween episode. So Treehouse of Horror, episode number 666, as they always planned it. It's pretty crazy that it is the 666, but it's like I said, I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully it's not trash. Why are people asking such childish stuff on the chat? Because that's how it goes. Hey, Alicia. Hey, J-Bet. My pronouns are ooh, ee, ah, 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 ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Alyssa, sorry. I got that twice, huh? They are going in on Conor McGregor's coach on Twitter. Well, I hope so. They should. I hope that people are posting my videos right to him. Please, go get Conor and his coaches and all the UFC and WME and ESPN and especially Disney. Make them aware. So tell them it's not going to stand. Break ties now. Love you with Sam Tripoli. My preferred pronoun is His Majesty. Pretty okay. You, Drew. Let's see. That podcast was effing awesome. Thanks. Kind of turns them into huge a-holes. I'm not sure what that is. I'm hanging in there. Okay. Get Freeman. I love when people repeat themselves. Also, thanks for exposing me to Whitney Webb's content. That Epstein Sales series was just mind-blowing. Yeah, it was great stuff. And Whitney Webb's great. She has another article out right now about things that were scrubbed from the internet regarding Epstein that I'm trying to get her on next week. We'll see what happens. It might be 2 weeks from now. She's very, very busy. It's tough out there. Let's see. You think Rogan will talk about McRapist since he works for the UFC? No, of course not. He's been pretty silent about it. He knows. Come on. You guys, listen, if you're in on that inner circle, there's no possible way you don't know what's going on. Brendan Schaub won't even touch it. Brendan Schaub won't touch it. Think about that. Come on. Luke Thomas barely touched it. Okay? Didn't watch that fight. Been trying to get caught up on women's matches. Rose looks badass. I'm looking forward to back-to-back Bellator next week when I go to Mohegan Sun. The toe will stay mum. He was saying you had the cocaine brain, and I was saying you're smarter than that. Yeah, I don't do cocaine. It's not my thing. Any talk of McGregor's drug use in the Irish reports? Yeah, all over him. He was on. Listen, and you know what I did forget to mention about that when I did the details? He was on a 2-day coke and alcohol bender. Those are all the mainstream reports. Not killing animals when other options exist is a good thing, but of course many choose their desires over the life of others. Free will, at least for the narcissistic human. Listen, animals kill animals to eat. It's nature. It's the food chain. I hate that argument. I don't know what else to say on that one. And I'm never going to make somebody who believes it's wrong to kill all animals and eat them change their mind. I realize I dated a vegan. And boy, it was tough. Any thoughts on McGregor and Edgar potential fight? Never going to happen. I can see it. It doesn't make sense for the UFC. It's a lose-lose-lose. The only one it works for is Frankie Edgar, who'd probably beat him and make money. But again, as much as I like Frankie Edgar, I never want to see Conor in a cage again unless it's a jail cell, period. No TV anymore, just an army of digital soldiers. No toe in Idaho, whatever that means. Sorry for switching the topic, but do you know, yes, she has actually addressed her CFR membership a couple times. And even the Jackman brothers who did Politics and Pints mentioned talking policy with Richard Haas, who is the president of the CFR. So it's not like she's hiding it. Let's see. Just call everyone Toots or Madeir or Ducky and you won't mispronounce them. BDS in the APAC bill was too telling. Who's that? for Ilhan Omar? perhaps. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Isn't it New York Times who put out the Wah article complaining about tech industry ruining free press? Guys, again, have discernment. I'm not here to endorse the New York Times, and I'm not here to degrade everything they've done. Same with the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Times or the Washington Post or Newsweek. Okay? There's a level of corruption everywhere there, 100%. Let's see. Chris Sean, eat more meat for health. Veggies in history were only for the starving. Callous DJ, a bit behind, but the way to defeat robots is dig holes, and when they chase you, jump over the hole. For now, bro. For now. Jesus belongs in every conversation. Trump's got 2020. Have you seen his rallies? Yeah, no, listen. Everybody downplaying the popularity of Donald Trump is being ignorant. He's got a massive fan base. Massive fan base. Tons of support. Let's see. Dems are obviously working with Trump behind the schemes. No impeachment for bombing Syria. Bannon seems to think that impeachment is definitely going to come for Trump. So we'll see what happens. Lots of turnover in this admin. Kind of good thing. Who wants career politicians? You know, I agree. Bad Irish laws. Did not know until I saw your video on this. Yes, there's only an 8% conviction rate on sexual assault there. Think about that. First of all, only a fraction of women who are actually raped and sexually assaulted go to police. But now you're going to tell me that 92% of them are lying? Come on. Yeah, there's a whole hell of a lot of evidence for it. Agreed. Trump is a swamp thing. I'm not impressed with Trump. Don't worry. But again, he speaks more truth than most presidents, if not all presidents of my generation. Q is real. We have an army of digital soldiers. Yes, the keyboard cowboy warriors looking for breadcrumbs. Occupy the Federal Reserve. Tulsi, Bernie is a socialist. Wise up. Occupy the Fed. Tulsi McAfee 2020. Anyone? No, thank you with McAfee. Listen, McAfee's entertaining, but if you think he'd be better than anybody else, dude, he's out for himself. John McAfee tells lies just like anybody else. John McAfee is out for himself, man. Like, he's entertaining for sure. And it's fun to watch some of his stuff, but come on. Tulsi is a radical dude. LMAO. Jason Burmis, any word on the New York State grand jury 9/11 timeline? No, I don't know what that timeline is like right now. Tulsi backwards equals, come on, man. F Politrix. Occupy the Federal Reserve now, guys. Tulsi is way better than the rest. Jason, you got a crown a mod for dealing with trolls, not volunteering. I don't want a mod. If it gets too bad, I just delete you, you know. And I think that's why like the trolls kind of toe the line here, because they know if it's just too much, I just get rid of you. Oh, watch my playlist, QAnon sometimes. They are nutty Q followers, but Edge of the Wonder guys do a really good job. Watch my playlist, Jason. You can disagree later if you want. Let's see. We're going to be answering them. All right, I gotcha. They ran the op out of 7 and then brought it down. Q is real. It's our military and Trump. How old are you? This podcast just made me drop you. I'm 40 years old. I'm a grown man. That's how old I am. Ted Turner built the Georgia Guidestones. I don't know that that's true either. Occupy the Federal Reserve by Brenda. That's all we got now. I love Jason Burmis, Alex Jones impersonation. I haven't done it in a while. This is the first live chat of yours I have ever attended. Forgive me. I thought the question had to be in the moment. No, I'm just trying to get things through. Scott, you trying to get me to do that impression? That's funny. Q's real name is Johnny Nonsense. #. I like Trump, but Tulsi sounds more like a true red pillar. Well, you might be wrong. Oh, we got to the bottom. I know it did jump out, but we got to the bottom. We're at an hour. Can you talk about the military-industrial complex CEOs and their connections with the empire? There's plenty of them. Jason, has Alex Jones tried to buy you out much like he did the Oracle Broadcasting Network? No. Alex Jones and I have not talked for years at all. I was unaware that he bought out the Oracle Broadcasting Network, too. I have no idea what that means. So I think I remember it slightly. So you want to support me? This is how you do it. We went over all of the supporters, and I see that I did get 19 minutes ago from Ronald Petticourt. Thank you very much, my friend. You can follow me on Twitter, and I'm a documentary filmmaker. Right here in the playlist section, my documentaries, you can watch Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, and New World Order Defined. and Shade the Motion Picture. They're all there for free. And remember, guys, please subscribe. If you join this and you're not a subscriber, now's the time to join the Burmese Brigade. We're trying to grow from 35,000 to 40,000 to 50,000 to 100,000 and beyond. And despite any kind of internet censorship, we're going to push forward. One last super chat. Thank you so much, Teresa Kincaid. Thanks for what you do. How is your dog doing? That's a great way to wrap this up because my dog is doing awesome. For those that don't know, now 9+ weeks ago, 9.5 weeks ago, it'll be 10 weeks on Wednesday. My dog Karma, who 12 and a half years old, she'll be 13 in March. She was limping pretty bad, and I had suspected that she had bone cancer. I went on the MD and all that other stuff, and when I brought her into the vet and we did the x-rays, and you could see her top shoulder had been eaten through, and you could see what looked like cancer, that he was pointing to what looks like little like worms, okay, like little, like little slithering kind of things. And he said, look, I'm 99% certain that this is bone cancer. We could do a biopsy on her, a bone biopsy, but it's painful. I don't suggest it. And they gave me pain meds for her to go and die on. They basically gave me a timeline. I was like, well, how long do I have with her? I'm in tears in there. And they tell me 2 weeks to 2 months. And, I was thinking 6 months, but no. So they gave me these dope meds. Hey, what'd you think of doing ham radio? I don't know, Titus. That Titus Frost, by the way, just jumped in for me to interrupt my dog thing. Let me just finish that up, and I'm going to talk a little bit about radio really quick, too. But, so they basically just gave me the highest med they could, and he said, look, if she's still in pain, I can prescribe another medication on top of it, but I can't give you more of this one. So I had him on her for 2 days, and she couldn't walk, and she was all depressed. But I had already started her on the Joe Tippins treatment. After 2 days, I stopped with the dog meds. I went full Tippins, which is high-grade CBD I'm getting from Honest Paws, liquid vitamin E. It's really in the pill form, but I squirt the liquid in. What is it? Turmeric curcumin, high grade. And then the last thing that I have on there is the fenbenzidol, the dog dewormer, the Joe Tippins main treatment. And you can go and see John E. Hopkins' study. I don't know that I cured my dog of cancer, but she's not dead. And they gave me 8 weeks max. And they wanted me to call a week later to see if I had to schedule an appointment to put her down. And she's doing awesome. You can see her on the walk and talks. We did a walk and talk yesterday. I hope she lasts another couple of years. I love my dog, obviously. Now, Titus, talking about ham radio. I don't know that I would do that. I would definitely, and I have a Town Square Media office, a radio broadcasting office, literally like 3 blocks down. If you saw me walk past the Yellow Deli people, that little cult there, the 12 Tribes, it's literally like right down the block, like another 100, 200 feet. And I do know some people that work there. I don't know them personally, but I see them. And my goal would be to get on there and do a 2-hour show, 4 15-minute segments. In other words, like 10 to 12 minutes a news segment, and then they can do their advertising or whatever. But broadcast it live here as well on video. And that way, I'd have 8 videos out about subjects that I like. I'd have somebody who could take phone calls, so maybe 2 of those segments would be callers. And really, that's my goal. I don't think I would do actual radio unless I was there or like someone offered me a Sirius XM deal of some kind, right? But I can't be controlled either. I got to be able to say what I want to say and put that out there. I just won't do it otherwise. But if you missed it, I'm on week 3 tomorrow, 6 p.m. with John Fitch, Mixed Martial Mindset. Yes, it's an MMA podcast, but we talk about a lot more than MMA. We talk about current affairs as well. And that is now going to be on the Grueling Truth Network, a very large podcast network. So we are already in the steps of the right direction to try to bring this information and this type of stuff to more and more people. And it's funny because, the guy had actually contacted me in 2016, and I didn't know what it was for, but, I kind of got back to him and then nothing. But I was trying to reach out to as many people in the MMA media about the Conor McGregor situation. I sent him the podcast. He says, look, man, I get like 200 podcasts a week. I usually listen to them for like 30 seconds. He goes, I love this. He goes, when I first contacted you in 2016, I wanted you to do a midnight political talk show. And, I guess some of the other people weren't thrilled with my information, didn't want to let me do it. So now's the opportunity, and we'll see where it goes. I love doing this stuff. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I try to own those mistakes when they happen. But I'm going to be truthful. And guys, I want to thank all of you. I got nothing but love in my heart for you. Just remember, it's never been about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. And I'm going to continue to do my thing with your help if you allow it. So thank you so much, and I will see you all on the flip side.